Mo, CEO and founder RSM Gibraltar, thank you so much for coming on Blockchain Rock. Please, like as it is custom here, if you could give us a little bit about your background, tell us
Sure.
how you got, involved in the service, in how you became a service provider within the fintech industry as well, and what you have to offer to fintech startup and established companies alike
Okay.
in this
First of
space.
all, it's a pleasure to be here, and I think the initiative is a great initiative. The more initiatives like this we have, the better it is. Gibraltar PLC needs this, and the more we have, the better it is. My own background, I'm a Gibraltarian. I spent a lot of time in the UK, but I came back to Gibraltar in '99. I was a partner in Deloitte's for a number of years, financial services lead partner. And that in 2007, I started what is today RSM with a friend who's called Mark Benedy. And so we started with two people, and now we're probably the fifth or possibly the fourth largest firm in Gibraltar. We provide all sorts of services to all types of businesses, financial services, non-financial services, real estate, retail, international sort of holding companies, etc., in terms of audit, tax, advisory services, fund administration services, and obviously crypto and fintech and blockchain is a new business and a new sort of industry, and therefore we can provide the same services to this type of sort of blockchain and ICO and DLT companies.
And just because I'm curious about it, was it challenging to start providing infrastructure and services to blockchain companies? What was the challenge there, if any?
I think the biggest challenge was it was a completely new business, and therefore there was no established accounting practice for this type of business. And therefore, we had to start from scratch, look at the research that there was. There was research, the only research we found in terms of an accounting board was from the Australian accounting boards. The UK board, the American boards have not come up with anything definitive as yet. There's a lot of ideas coming out in the research papers, etc. Some of the large firms have also come up with some papers, but the idea was just to get as much information on the actual accounting practice, and importantly, once we establish the accounting practice, then that's what leads the tax the practical implications in Gibraltar. So whatever comes up in the income statement is what is actually going to be considered for tax purposes or not. Some companies are taxable in Gibraltar, sometimes they're not. But whatever is taxable is going to be driven by the accounting treatment.
I see. And in terms of a relationship between these three jurisdictions, you mentioned that you spent a long time in the UK and now you're back in Gibraltar. It is known that Gibraltar is a major hub for Israeli companies that want to branch out within the EU and more specifically also I would say the UK market. So what is your opinion in respect of TriTech as an event and in respect of the synergy between these three jurisdictions? Why do you think this synergy exists? In my personal opinion, I believe that it exists due to cultural similarities, which is extremely important besides
Sure.
business. So yeah, if you can give us an insight.
Well, not only did I actually live in the UK for many years, I also lived in Israel, so I can speak in Hebrew also, and therefore for me it was a very good opportunity just to work with the three countries, because at the end of the day, Israel does provide the high techs, the ideas, the sort of a special research facilities we've got as a small country. The UK provide the big financial support and the entrepreneurs, and Gibraltar provides the infrastructure and the actual sort of solutions for the service providers. So I think the combination of the three is very powerful. The most important thing here is actually converting the theory into practice. We have done so far, and so far it's very good because a lot of Israeli companies are based in Gibraltar. There's a lot of in UK interaction, and obviously Gibraltar is actually providing excellent services. TriTech is a very good platform to do that. It's actually it's joining together three good ingredients for a very good solution in terms of a good pie. And that sort of food is food for thought for future countries and future entrepreneurs from these countries for sure, but also other countries. And I think this is just a beginning of what can actually be a very expansive opportunity for Gibraltar PLC.
Thanks a lot, Mo, for your answer.
It's a real pleasure.
I wanted to ask you last question for you. Like, what's next for RSM? Is there a particular technology that now you're looking into? Being very innovative in the service provision in this space. For example, the way you were able to incorporate services and offerings for the blockchain space at such an early stage. Is there any particular technology that you're already looking at, servicing, which perhaps the UK is not servicing yet, or like, in other jurisdiction are not servicing yet? Is there?
Look, we're working with RSM International, and
Yeah.
RSM is number 6 in the world. So, in particular, our US office is very far ahead in terms of blockchain solutions, particularly in the audit space. And I think audit as a business and as a profession needs blockchain solutions, because at the end of the day, these technological tools will only make an audit more efficient and more economical. And that's what the client is actually looking for. An audit nowadays, there's a financial audit, which can some parts of it are becoming not required, because everything is so connected and so self confirmed that you don't need an auditor to tell you what already is confirmed by third parties, which is through the blockchain. But there are different types of audits and different audit requirements. One particular audit, which is a very new audit coming up in the next few years, is a social footprint audit. In other words, we go into the companies and we say, right, what type of people do you have? Do you have people who are hard-working people? Do you have people who don't want to be there? Do you have people who have got a hidden potential that you're not sort of optimizing? Do you have people who are sort of want to sort of be in a different position in the firm, but you're not giving them that opportunity? So if you've got people who are you also test the integrity of the people, etc. So if you've got a firm and you're testing the footprint of the people behind the firm, so that together with the technology, which is self-confirmed, then will actually give you a much more sort of optimized solution from an economic perspective for the company.
Okay, and how you specifically audit people? How do you audit? How do you provide these parameters?
It's a very interesting question, of course, but it's a very interesting idea because it's all based with psychology. So the idea will be just to get psychologists involved in the audit programming, and whereby you'll be asked a certain amount of what seem to be very simple, innocent questions, which the answers of which will be very deep and highlighting the inner person,
State of the person,
and inner state of the person. So that will actually be sort of one of the audit tools that we will be using in the future to determine the social footprint of people. So we can actually come to Hassan's, we can actually come to any other firm and say, right, okay, what are your people like? And through a process of question and answers, through deeper analysis, etc., through consolidation and reanalysis of the data, we can actually come back and say, look, the answer is this. And sometimes the solution of how you optimize the different type of people who have different skills, and you're not optimizing them necessarily, will be an algorithm. So the algorithm, together with the psychological analysis, will actually give you the ultimate best solution for a company.
So I see. So it is a combination of the human element together with very advanced technology.
Absolutely.
That is extremely interesting, and I think actually, I think some listener might be shocked at the prospect of a psychologist coming and asking you questions, which then lead to actually a deep analysis of the person. I personally think it would be very beneficial for an employer to understand whether the employees are not satisfied. And I think that a lot of times, the employee themselves don't really understand their emotional status as to the work and whether they feel fulfilled. I think it's a much more complex question than a lot of people think. So it's very interesting.
I agree, and I think with the increase of technology, there's going to be an increase of antisocial behavior, and therefore the psychological outlook on or the profile of a person is going to be very important for many reasons.
It's going to be also good in terms of like understanding, self-awareness. I think technology can definitely improve that aspect.
Sure. It's like you've got to manage it like everything. Good balance.
I see. Mo, thank you so much for coming on Blockchain Rock and for giving us some time to chat together.
Thank you very much.
And we hope to see you again soon.
Absolutely.
All the
You
best.
too. Thank you. Bye-bye.